Krsna lila stava. First obeisance. Verse 1 following the sequence found in Srimad Bhagavatam. I shall now describe the Supreme Lord Krsna. I shall do this in order to attain the perfection of transcendental bliss, by offering 108 obeisances to Lord Krsna. Verse 2 O Lord Krsna, O Supreme Spiritual Entity, O Truth which underlies the universe, O ingredient of which the universe is composed, O you who are in one sense not different from everything, O you who are eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, O you who appear according to your own sweet will, O you who give shelter to all, who approach you, all glories unto you. Verse 4 O unchanging and unlimited Lord Krsna, you are always transcendentally pure and free from material dualities. You are the effulgence and infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead. All glories unto you. Third obeisance. Verse 5 O Lord Krsna, O all-pervading Super Soul, O controller of the unmanifest material nature and the living entities, O giver of the potency by which all things may be known and any wonderful thing may be done, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 6 O Lord Krsna, O Super Soul who resides in the whirl of the lotus flower of the hearts of the living entities, O Supreme Person who has the form of a transcendental cowherd boy, O resting place of all living entities, O Master of the senses, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Fourth obeisance. Verse 7 O Lord Krsna, O Supreme Controller, O Master of the Goddess of Fortune, your form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss. You are full of all transcendental features, and you eternally remain an ever-fresh youth. Verse 8 O Lord Krsna, all your limbs are exceedingly beautiful. You are very affectionate and your complexion is dark like a rain cloud. Your eyes are like lotus flowers, and you are adorned with yellow garments. Your lotus face is always smiling. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 9 O amazingly beautiful Lord Krsna, your personal sweetness has outshone the beauty of your ornaments, and thus it is you who decorate your ornaments and not they. You O Lord Krsna, whose glance is always full of your mercy and love, all glories unto you. Verse 10 O Lord Krsna, you are as beautiful as millions of cupids, and as effulgent as millions of suns. You are as charming as millions of moons, and you delight the entire universe. You are the hero of the beautiful vacant the planets. Verse 11 O Lord Krsna, in your splendid four-armed form, you hold the conch, lotus, club, and disc. You are worshipped by Ananta Sesa and your other associates, and you are carried by Garuda. Verse 12 O Lord Krsna, your followers possess a spiritual form similar to your own. You are decorated with all auspicious transcendental attributes, and you are full of all glories. You are beyond the reach of the material mind and words. Verse 13 O Lord Krsna, O Lord of the downtrodden and miserable, O my only shelter, you may be attained by those who abandon all material desires. O protector from distress, you grant a benediction which is beyond the limited wishes of this material world. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Fifth obeisance. Verse 14 O Lord Krsna, O seed from which the innumerable incarnations of Godhead have sprouted, O creator of the three modes of material nature. When there is a need for creating the material universe, you appear as Lord Brahma. When there is a need to destroy it, you assume the form of Lord Shiva. I therefore offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 15 O merciful Lord Krsna, O protector of the universe, you are completely situated on the platform of transcendental goodness, and you are the master of the demigods. You are intent on fulfilling the desires of your devotees. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 16 O Lord Mahavinu, O establisher of all the principles of religion, O destroyer of all the demons and of all irreligion, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 17 O Lord Krsna, you assume many different charming forms, all arrayed in various beautiful garments. You perform many different delightful pastimes, and you are known by many different names. Let me offer respectful obeisances unto you. Sixth obeisance. Verse 18 O Lord Krsna, you have appeared as Lord Kapila, Lord Varaha, and Lord Yajna. Narada Muni and the four Kumaras are your empowered incarnations. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 19 O Lord Dattatreya, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. O Naranarayana Rsi, I worship you. O Hayagriva, O Hattunsa, O Lord who is very dear to Dhruva Maharaja, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 20 O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you who appeared as Lord Arsabhadeva and King Parthu, in the reign of Svayambhuva Manu, In the reign of Svayambhuva Manu I offer respectful obeisances to Lord Vibhu, who appeared during the time of the second Manu, and Lord Satyazanika, who appeared at the time of the third Manu. Verse 21 I offer respectful obeisances unto Lord Krsna, who appeared as Sri Hari, Sri Vaikantha, and Sri Ajita, who appeared in the reigns of the 4th, 5th and 6th Manus. I offer respectful obeisances unto Lord Krsna, who appeared as Lord Matsya, the incarnation as a great fish, as well as Lord Sesa, who holds up the earth planet. Verse 22 I offer respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimha, Lord Kurma, Lord Dhanvantari, and Lord Mohini Murti, who all appeared in the reign of the 6th Manu. I offer respectful obeisances unto Lord Vamana, who appeared during the rule of the 7th Manu, and O Lord Parasurama, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 23 O Lord Ramakandra, O Vyasadeva, O Lord Balarama, who carries a plough weapon, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. O Lord Buddha, O Lord Kaki, who is as powerful as a network of lightning bolts, please protect me. 7th obeisance verse 24 In the reign of the 8th Manu, O Lord Sarvabhauma you will appear, and in the reign of the 9th, O Lord Arsabha, you will appear. O Lord Visvaksana, you will appear in the reign of the 10th Manu, and Lord Dharmasitu, you will appear after him. Verse 25 O Lord Krsna, in the reign of the 12th Manu, you will appear as Lord Sudama, and in the reign of the 13th Manu, you will appear as Lord Yogisa. At the time of the 14th Manu, you will appear as Lord Bradbanu. O Lord, in this way you assume 37 different forms during the reigns of the different Manus. All glories unto you. Verse 26 O Supreme Lord Krsna, in the Satya Yuga, you appear in a white form, and in the Treta Yuga your form is red, in the Dvapara Yuga your form is green, and in the Kali Yuga your appearance is blackish. Verse 27 O Lord Krsna, O only ocean of mercy within the universe, O you who assume the roles of innumerable lila incarnations in order to delight your devotees, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. 8th obeisance verse 28 O Lord Nrsimha, O delighter of Prahlada Maharaja, O you who are very dear to the devotees, O you who appear because of the great power of the devotional service of your servants, O Lord who tore apart the chest of your enemy Hiranyakasipt, O Lord who is worshipped by the saintly devotees, and who is very frightening to the impious, all glories unto you. Verse 29 O Lord Nrsitanha, externally you appear very handsome with your proud and majestic features, and your thunderous roaring is heard throughout the universe. Internally you are very gentle and merciful, and you are very eager to affectionately lick the body of your devotee Prahlada. 9th obeisance verse 30 O Lord Ramakandra, O husband of Sita, O son of Dasaratha, O chief descendant of the Raghu dynasty, O lotus-eyed son of Kausalya, O elder brother of Lakshmana, O master of Hanuman, O friend of Sugriva, O younger brother of Bharata. Verse 31 O Lord who performed the activities of a saintly person wandering in the Dandaka forest, O Lord who holds a bow in his hand, O killer of the demon Dhyasana, O builder of the bridge across the ocean, O shelter of Vibhisana, O killer of Ravana, the demonic king of Lanka, O Lord of the Kosala province, all glories unto you. 10th obeisance verse 32 O Lord Krsna, who descended in the province of Mathura, O Lord who gives the great gift of pure love for yourself, O performer of extraordinary pastimes, O great treasure house of various kinds of sweetness, O Lord who is full of transcendental opulences, great mercy and majesty. All glories unto you. Verse 33 O Lord Krsna, O deliverer of the Pandavas and protector of King Pariksit, everyone should hear talks in relation with you, just as King Pariksit who inquired about your pastimes. Verse 34 O Lord Krsna, you are situated within and without eve for writhing, and you appropriately grant happiness and distress to the devotees and the impious. King Pariksit, full of doubts, and very eager to hear, inquired about you and your pastimes. Verse 35 O Lord Krsna, the nectar of the topics in relation to you were spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, and those topics became the very life breath of King Pariksit, who had abandoned all other food and drink. O Lord, when the entire earth was afflicted by a great horde of demonic kings, the earth became distressed and bitterly lamented. Verse 36 O Lord Krsna, Hearing the lament of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma and the other demigods approached the ocean of milk. Staying there in meditation, Lord Brahma heard your words of instruction which delighted the pious devotees on the earth planet. 11th obeisance verse 37. O Lord Krsna, you are very fond of the city of Mathura, the capital of King Krsna, and because you decided to descend in that place to the earth, you caused the wedding celebration of Devaki and Vasudeva. Verse 38. O Lord Krsna, agitated by a voice from the sky, Krsna, who was holding the reins of the chariot, tried to wickedly kill Devaki. Devaki's life was saved by the careful reasoned words of Vasudeva. Verse 39. O Lord Krsna, fulfilling his promise, the truthful Vasudeva brought each of his sons before Kathunsa. O Lord, because of your desire, Kathunsa was able to hear the words spoken by Narada, from the sky. O Lord Krsna, please protect me. Verse 40. O Lord Krsna, Kathunsa then imprisoned Vasudeva and other relatives and bound them in chains. He killed the 6 sons of Devaki, thinking them to be his enemies. 12th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10 Chapter 2, verse 41. O Lord Krsna, you understood the sufferings of your own family, the Yadu dynasty, who were greatly harassed by the military strength of Kathunsa. O my Lord, by the agency of your own Yogamaya potency, you personally became Devaki's 7th child. Verse 42. O Lord Krsna, by the agency of your Yogamaya, you became the son of Devaki, and your incarnation as Lord Balarama was transferred to the womb of Rohini. O dear friend of Lord Balarama, O Lord Krsna, please protect me. Verse 43. O Lord Krsna, when you became the 8th child of Devaki, your splendor made your mother appear very glorious, and the presence of your transcendental potencies made your father Vasudeva become jubilant. You caused great fear and despair for Kathunsa. Verse 44. O Lord Krsna, O absolute truth, O Lord of the universe, manifesting your transcendental form, which is beyond the material nature, you received the prayers of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the other demigods. You also continually remained within the mind of Krsna. Verse 45. O Lord Krsna, O be all and end all for devotees, O only desired object of the devotees, by the appearance of your transcendental form, all the desires of everyone become fulfilled. O Lord, you personally enter those who take shelter of your holy name or your spiritual form. O Lord, simply by taking birth here, you removed all the distresses of the earth. Verse 46. O Lord Krsna, you appeared on the earth exclusively to perform your pastimes and remove the earth's burden. Your lotus feet are the ornament for the upper and middle planetary systems. The demigods thus encouraged Mother Devaki by offering prayers to you. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. 13th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 3, verse 47. O Lord Krsna, appearing on the 8th day of the dark moon in the month of Bhadra, when the star Rohini had appeared in the sky, you spread auspiciousness over the earth's surface, and you pleased and pacified the minds and hearts of saintly devotees. Verse 48. O Lord Krsna, when you appeared in the middle of the night as the dear son of Vasudeva, you delighted the minds of the great sages, and you pleased and satisfied the demigods. Verse 49. O Lord Krsna, O transcendental jewel, O son of Devaki, O dear younger brother of Balarama, O elder brother of Gada and Subhadra, please be merciful and protect me. Verse 50. O ornament of Devaki's maternity room, displaying your transcendental form, you illuminator of the dark prison of Kathunsa, please protect me. 14th obeisance verse 51. O Lord Krsna, you revealed your transcendental form, which is generally very difficult to see. Vasudeva offered reverential prayers glorifying you, the cause of all causes, who has simultaneously entered and not entered everything. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 52. O perfect Lord Krsna, you are simultaneously the doer and the non-doer of everything, and by your appearance you made the entire universe peaceful and happy. You mercifully granted liberation to the demons, and you increased the pure love of your devotees. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 53. O Lord Krsna, O creator of time, O annihilator of the universe, O lamp of transcendental knowledge, O Lord free from any material attributes or contact, O bliss of the eyes of Devaki, who fearfully offered prayers to you, all glories unto you. Verse 54. O Lord Krsna, your splendor makes all the planets appear like a joke, and you rescue from death those who take shelter of your lotus feet. Because material eyes are not appropriate instruments to see your transcendental form, you covered that divine form which was formerly shown to your mother. 15th obeisance verse 55. O Lord Krsna, in 3 births you became the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. When you were born in your father's presence, you were pleased by his sincere worship, and you granted all benedictions to him. Verse 56. O beautiful Lord Krsna, O Supreme Spirit whose form resembles that of a human child, and who performs pastimes in that eternal form, giving great transcendental bliss to your mother and father, all glories unto you. Verse 57. O Lord Krsna, you instructed, Vasudeva, how you could escape the wrath of Krsna, and you bewildered the guards standing at the prison gate and caused them all to fall asleep. It was by your arrangement that your potency Maya was born as the daughter of Yasoda. Verse 58. O Lord Krsna, your potency unlocked all the doors and you were carried away by your father. The hoods of the serpent Anantasesa became your umbrella, and the Yamuna river gave you a clear path. Verse 59. O Lord Krsna, O great auspiciousness of Braja, you were placed on Yasoda's bed. And she, Nanda Maharaja and the other cowherd men, bewildered by sleep, did not notice. All glories unto you. 16th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 4, Verse 60. O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. When Katunsa attempted to violently kill Durgadevi, she told him that you had already been born. Katunsa became amazed, and he released your father, mother, and relatives, from the prison. Verse 61. O Lord Krsna, Katunsa, his mind purified by constantly remembering you with fear, became enlightened, and he spoke transcendental knowledge to your mother and father and thus pacified them. Verse 62. O Lord Krsna, trapped in the verbal network of bad advice from his demonic ministers, Katunsa agreed to a very wicked plan. Katunsa transgressed the desires of the saintly devotees, and in this way it appeared that his life was soon to end. Obeisance 17, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 5, Verse 63. O Lord Krsna, entering the appropriate place, Vrajabhyamai, you appear to have become initiated in the vow of giving the unprecedented gift of love for your lotus feet. O performer of pastimes, you grant pure love for yourself to your devotees. That love is like a great festival of spiritual happiness. Verse 64. O Lord Krsna, O delightful son of Maharaja Nanda, when the time for your birth ceremony arrived, your father arranged for a great festival and gave many gifts in charity, thus making the opulent land of Gokula very auspicious. Verse 65. O Lord Gopala, you were then decorated with ornaments and the gopis celebrated a great festival, lovingly and jubilantly showering their benedictions upon you and sprinkling you with the milk of the cows of Braja. Verse 66. O Lord Krsna, O delight of the people of Braja, Nanda Maharaja then greatly honored the people of Braja and he opulently gave many opulent gifts to them as you drank the breast milk of your mother Yasoda. Verse 67. O Lord Krsna, adding you as his son, King Nanda considered that he had a great jewel as a son, and he became very anxious for your protection. When he went to Mathura to pay taxes, he asked the cowherd men to protect his home, in his absence. Verse 68. O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. Nanda Maharaja became delighted when he heard the auspicious questions of Vasudeva, who also became jubilant, hearing Nan's transcendental reply. Verse 68. O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. Nanda Maharaja became delighted when he heard the auspicious questions of Vasudeva, who also became jubilant, hearing Nan's transcendental reply. 15th obeisance Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 6, Verse 69. O Lord Krsna, Nanda Maharaja became frightened by Vasudeva's description of impending calamity and he took shelter of the all-auspicious Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Lord, the sister of Bakasura, Pitana, smeared poison upon her breasts and assumed the form of a beautiful woman, enchanting and belittling the residents of Brajabhumi. O Lord, this demoness had the opportunity to see you. Verse 70. O Lord Krsna, embarrassed, you closed your lotus eyes and Pitana placed you upon her lap. You caused her great pain and by drinking out her life breath as you drank her milk. Verse 71. O Lord Krsna, drying up Pitana's life, you caused her to cry out. Her body fell and became a very frightening 12-mile-long corpse. Verse 72. O Lord Krsna, the gopis, expert at performing various protective measures, sprinkled you with dust upraised by the cows, covered you with cow dung and bathed you with cow urine, to protect you. Verse 73. O Lord Krsna, the gopis protected you by chanting bija and mayasa mantras beginning with the word Aya. When the body of Putana was burned, it spread a sweet fragrance everywhere. Note, these mantras are described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.6. 21-29. Verse 74. O Lord Krsna, you thus liberated the demoness Pitana, who hated you, and permitted her to return to the spiritual world. Seeing all these pastimes, the residents of Brajabhumi became amazed, and Nanda Maharaja smelled your head, with paternal affection. O Lord, all glories unto you. 19th Obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 7, Verse 75. O Lord Krsna, when you were 3 or 4 months old, your mother performed a great festival to celebrate the auspicious occasion of your being able to attempt to rise and turn around. She ceremoniously bathed you at that ceremony, but when she saw that your eyes had all the symptoms of sleepiness, she let you fall asleep in a small bed placed under a large cart. Verse 76. O Lord Krsna, whose eyes are anointed with black cosmetic, after a time a smile sprouted upon your face, your playful eyes began to restlessly look about, and you placed your toe in your mouth. Verse 77. O Lord Krsna, because your mother was absorbed in the festive activities, she did not hear when you cried for her breast milk. O Lord, you then lifted your lotus foot and upturned the cart. Verse 78. O Lord Krsna, when you killed that demon who had assumed the form of a cart, all the people of Braja were not able to understand what had happened or how. For your protection, the Brahmanas performed a ritualistic ceremony to attain good fortune, Vedic hymns were chanted to purify you, and you were bathed with water. 20th Obeisance Verse 79. O Lord Krsna, while sitting on Mother Yasoda's lap you greatly amazed her by performing the pastimes of becoming very heavy. After she had put you down, you were carried away by the demon Trinavarta. Verse 80. O Lord Krsna, your mother searched for you, and the demon Trinavarta became unable to carry you. Grasping the demon's throat, you caused him to fall to the ground, lifeless and inactive. Verse 81. O Lord Krsna, in this way you made the Trinavarta demon become as harmless and insignificant as a blade of grass. The crying gopis saw you and you were given to your mother, the Gopi Yasoda, who began to nurse you. O Lord, O giver of bliss to the inhabitants of Braja, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. 21st Obeisance Verse 82. O Lord Krsna, you are pleased by drinking the breast milk of Mother Yasoda, delighted by seeing your face, Mother Yasoda caresses you. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Please protect me. Verse 83. O Lord Krsna, when your affectionate mother kissed your face, you amazed her by showing her the entire universe. O Lord, O revealer of amazing things, please be merciful unto me. Verse 84. 22nd Obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 8, Verse 85, I offer respectful obeisances to Lord Krsna. Delighted by Gabra Muni's eloquent words, Nanda Maharaja brought Lord Krsna to a secluded place, where Garga Muni, performing the auspicious name-giving ceremony for the Lord, enumerated the Lord's glories and opulences. Verse 86. I offer respectful obeisances to Lord Krsna, who is very affectionate to the devotees, protecting them, and destroying the demons. He is the great Lord Narayana and he increases the bliss of Nanda Maharaja. Verse 87. O Lord Krsna, eagerly crawling about on your hands and knees, and performing the pastimes of an innocent child, you enchant the minds of the devotees. All to you. Verse 88. O Lord Krsna, delighted by the sounds of other people's ankle bells, you would crawl in the mud of Braja, as if to follow them. The top of your head was decorated with a jewel, and your neck appeared very splendid, ornamented with the nails of a tiger. Verse 89. O Lord Krsna, you appear very charming, anointed with the mud of Braja, and your hips becoming gradually stronger as you grew older. O Lord, you desired to see the reflection of your face, and you saw that reflection, you playfully imitated your own movements. Verse 90. O Lord Krsna, holding you with her hands as she was breastfeeding you, Mother Yasoda, little teeth beginning to grow in your smiling mouth, which was speaking the charming inarticulate words of a small child. At that time you began to walk, your amazing activities occasionally decorated with stumbling. 24th obeisance. Verse 91. O Lord Krsna, thus imitating the pastimes of a helpless human child, charmingly kicking your legs, performing other pastimes, you were observed by the gopis. Verse 92. O Lord Krsna, pulling the tail of a calf, you would in turn be dragged about by him. The cowherd men and women would then forget all their other activities and become delighted by these childhood pastimes. Verse 93. O Lord Krsna, in this way you would greatly perplex your mother, who was intent on performing her household duties. O Lord, your great charm enchants Lord Brahma and the other demigods, and the beauty of your childhood amazes the entire universe. All glories unto you. 25th obeisance. Verse 94. O Lord Krsna, O little cowherd boy, O delight of the gopis, O performer of mischievous childhood pastimes in the company of your like-minded friends of the same age, please be merciful to me. Verse 95. O Lord Krsna, releasing the calves at the wrong time, you smiled to see the residents of Braja lament. You would continually steal butter, and also feed it to the monkeys. Verse 96. O Lord Krsna, entering the darkened storeroom, making a staircase of the bench and the grinding mortar and pulling the ropes, you broke the pots full of milk products. Verse 97. O Lord Krsna, your limbs are illuminated with glistening jewels. Hearing the harsh complaints of the gopis, you became frightened and your eyes moved restlessly. In this condition you gave great delight to Mother Yasoda. Verse 98. O Lord Krsna, O source of the devotees' bliss, when Lord Balarama and your other friends reported to Mother Yasoda that you had eaten clay, considering it very palatable foodstuff, Whe reprimanded you very severely, thinking of your welfare. Verse 99. O Lord Krsna, moving your eyes with pretended fear, you hid among your friends. Denying the accusations of Lord Balarama and the others, you vowed to Mother Yasoda that you were innocent. Verse 100. O Lord Krsna, you opened your small lotus mouth, showed the entire universe to Mother Yasoda, she then understood your transcendental opulence, although you again illusioned her by your potency. All glories unto you. Verse 101. O Lord Krsna, in this way you increased the love of Mother Yasoda, who affectionately embraced you. Because you fulfilled the benediction offered by Lord Brahma to your devotees Drona and Dhara, they were able to become your parents. 27th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 9, Verse 102. O Lord Krsna, one day singing the glories of your pastimes, Mother Yasoda began to churn yogurt. Very hungry, you desired to drink her breast milk, and you grabbed the churning rod from her. Verse 103. O Lord Krsna, when the milk spilled from the pot, your mother left you. Your desire to drink the nectar of your mother's milk unsatisfied, your lips trembled with feigned anger, and you broke the jar full of yogurt. Verse 104. O Lord Krsna, stealing the fresh butter, you took great pleasure in eating a great quantity of it, and also strewing it about. Verse 105. O Lord Krsna, you anointed your limbs with that butter and you gave much of it away. When you heard the sound of your mother's ankle bells, you became afraid that she would punish you for your living activities and you pretended to cry. Verse 106. O Lord Krsna, afraid of your mother you fled from her as she chased you within the courtyard in Vrindavana. Understanding how she had become fatigued by chasing you, you allowed her to catch you and, tie you about the waist with a rope. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 107. O Lord Krsna, you restlessly glanced from the corners of your eyes which were decorated with black ointment. Using the rope of her unlimited parental love, Mother Yasoda bound you to the grinding mortar. 28th Obeisance. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 10, Verse 108. O Lord Krsna, you saw the two Yamala Arjuna trees, and understood the words that Narada had mercifully spoken for the deliverance of the offensive sons of Kavera. You broke the curse which bound Kavera's sons to the forms of trees. Verse 109. O Lord Krsna, you are attainable only by those who are free from material beauty, and other so-called opulences can never attain you. You are very dear to Narada Muni, and you pulled the grinding mortar to which you were bound. All glories unto you. Verse 110. O Lord Krsna, fulfilling the benediction offered by Devarsi Narada, you broke we the Yamala Arjuna trees. O Lord, O controller of all controllers, the TW sons of Kavera then glorified you with transcendental prayers. Verse 111. O Lord Krsna, although it is very difficult for the conditioned souls to understand your glories, the devotees constantly engage their minds in exclusively thinking about you and nothing else. O Lord, your transcendental pastimes are wonderfully extraordinary, and you are the most auspicious of all auspicious things within this universe. Verse 112. O Lord Krsna, you are greatly pleased when one becomes a servant of your servant, and you are very affectionate to those who become the devotee of your devotee. The two sons of Kavera thus chanted your glories and constantly tasted the nectar of your devotional service with all their limbs and senses. Verse 113. O Lord Krsna, pleased by the prayers of the sons of Kavera, the friend of Lord Shiva, you spoke to them with words that seemed like a shower of nectar. You explained how glorious it is even to see a poor devotee of your lordship. And you granted to Kavera's sons the benediction of attaining pure love for you. 29th Obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 11, Verse 114. O Lord Krsna, when the children described that you had caused the two trees to fall, the cowherd men because greatly amazed. A bewildered Nanda Maharaja gazed at you as a smile broke forth upon your lips. Verse 115. O Lord Krsna, having pulled the grinding mortar, you remained among the fallen Yamala Arjuna trees. Nanda Maharaj untied the rope used for tying cows which had bound your splendid waist. Verse 116. O Lord Krsna, in order to show how you submissively accept the dominion of your devotees, you danced, following the encouragement of the gopis. You jubilantly and intently sang in a childish voice, at their bidding, and charmingly struck your arms to your chest, to show your strength. In this way you enchanted the minds of inhabitants of Vraja. Verse 117. O Lord Krsna, following the orders of Mother Yasoda and the other gopis, you would carry the wooden bench and other articles. You expertly begged for sweets cooked in butter, and the ocean of nectar of your pastimes charmed the residents of Vrajabhimi. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. 30th Obeisance. Verse 118. O Lord Krsna, O object of love of Upananda, because you desired to enjoy the transcendental mellows only experienced in Vrindavana, you traveled there, riding on a cart as the gopis sang about your glorious pastimes. Verse 119. O Lord Krsna, O moon of Vrindavana, O ornament of beautiful Vrindavana, you are very fond of the land of Vrindavana. Residence in your Vrindavana greatly pleases the hearts of your devotees. Verse 120, note translation is missing from text. 31st Obeisance. Verse 121. O Lord Krsna, your childish attempt to speak was very charming and enchanting, and your transcendental pastimes caused the residents of Vraja to become jubilant. You would wander here and there in the company of your friends, the young protectors of the calves, although you would not go very far from your home in Vraja. Verse 122. O Lord Krsna, accompanied by Lord Balarama and other cowherd boyfriends, you delighted in performing various different pastimes in the gardens of Vindavana. You are very fond of playing your flute, upon which you produce an amazingly sweet sound. Verse 123. O Lord Krsna, Your charming and beautiful form bends in 3 places and the flute to your lips. You are delighted to shoot pebbles with a slingshot, and you are very enthusiastic to play with a ball. Verse 124. O Lord Krsna, you and your friends would imitate the activities of the bull calves and the sounds of the grown-up bulls. You would enjoy mock fighting with your friends, and you would imitate the sounds of all the forest animals. All glories unto you. 32nd obeisance. Verse 125. O Lord Krsna, after killing the demon Vatsasura, you threw him into a kapitha tree and caused the ripe kapitha fruits to fall to the ground. You then became jubilant, the cowherd boys glorified you and the demigods worshipped you by showering flowers. Verse 126. O Lord Krsna, you amaze the cowherd boys, and you become the object of their constant meditation. Covered with the dust upraised by the cows, you return home in the evening. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 127. O Lord Krsna, ornamented with garlands of gunja and a garland of peacock feather, wearing flower earrings and sumana flowers on your head, you take pleasure in playing a flute made from a leaf. Verse 128. O Lord Krsna, you are crowned with peacock feathers and blossoming flowers and garlanded with forest flowers. Your limbs are decorated with wonderful pictures and designs drawn in colorful mineral pigments gathered in the forest. 33rd obeisance. Verse 129. O Lord Krsna, taking breakfast early in the morning, you August 5, 2001 wandered in Vrindavana, placing the calves in front. It was there that you saw the demon Bhaktashura, whose gigantic body appeared just like a mountain peak. Verse 130. O Lord Krsna, when you were swallowed by Bakasura with his sharp beak, your cowherd friends fainted. Staying within the demon's mouth, you playfully burned his palate. Verse 131. O Lord Krsna, expelled from the Baka demon's mouth, you bifurcated his beak, and killed him. Balarama and the other cowherd boys embraced you, and the demigods praised you and showered flowers upon you. All glories to you. 34th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 12, Verse 132. O Lord Krsna, desiring to take breakfast as a picnic in the forest, you called the cowherd boys by sounding your buffalo horn bugle, and went to the forest, accompanied by unlimited calves and boys. Verse 133. O Lord Krsna, when one cowherd boy playfully stole another's lunch bag, and when the clever cowherd boys played other games, such as the contest to see who could first touch your lotus feet, you became greatly pleased and jubilant. Verse 134. O Lord Krsna, you were always associated with your contemporary friends, who could not for a moment even understand your supernatural prowess, and whose good fortune was glorified by Sukadeva Goswami. 35th obeisance. Verse 135. O Lord Krsna, one day your friends saw a gigantic sleeping serpent on the path. You earnestly desired to protect your innocent friends from that serpent, who was known as Aghasura, whose mind was full of demoniac plans and who had performed many abominable deeds. Verse 136. O Lord Krsna, you then became very anxious for the protection of your friends. Entering within the demoniac serpent Agha, you killed him, and thus saved the lives of the calves and the cowherd boys. Verse 137. O Lord Krsna, in this way, you delighted the demigods, liberated the offensive Agha demon, and amazed Lord Brahma. O Lord, O ocean of amazing pastimes, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. 36th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 13, Verse 138. O Lord Krsna, appearing to be so youthful, the residents of Braja considered that you were younger than you actually were. O Lord, O performer of greatly wonderful pastimes, the conversation of King Pariksit and Sukadeva Goswami about your pastimes appears just like a reservoir of enchanting nectar. Verse 139. O Lord Krsna, decorated by the circle of your cowherd boy friends, you sat on the grassy bank on the shore of the celebrated and charming Yamuna river, and took your lunch. Verse 140. O Lord Krsna, surrounded by your friends, the young boys of Braja, you took your lunch together. You were clothed in a yellow dhoti, and accorated with a garland of forest flowers. Your flute was tucked in at your waist. Verse 141. O Lord Krsna, your buffalo horn bugle and your stick are placed in the left side of your belt, you hold some curd in your left hand and you appear very beautiful as you nibble at your lunch. O Lord, please be merciful unto me. Verse 142. O Lord Krsna, you held a fruit between your fingers and you enchanted the minds of the cowherd boys, causing them to laugh at your joking words. Your lunch-taking pastimes amazed the demigods in the higher planetary system. 37th obeisance. Verse 143. O Lord Krsna, when the calves disappeared, you began to search for them in order to allay the fears of the cowherd boys, the boys then also could not be found, and you began to search for both the calves and the boys. Verse 144. O Lord Krsna, understanding that Lord Brahma had stolen the calves and the cowherd boys, you assumed the forms of the stolen boys and calves, so that the mogthers of the boys and calves might become happy. Verse 145. O Lord Krsna, perfectly imitating the forms and activities of each cowherd boy of Braja and of each calf, ye entered the homes of all of the boys and calves. 38 obeisance. Verse 146. O Lord Krsna, you drank the breast milk of the cows and gopis, and their love for you increased more and more. In this way you bewildered Lord Brahma, although Lord Brahma clearly understood that the boys and calves were all your expansions. Verse 147. O Lord Krsna, revealing that each of these forms was your own spiritual form, you caused Lord Brahma to become greatly amazed. Lord Brahma felt helpless, and he awakened to a proper understanding of Lord Krsna's status. Verse 148. O Lord Krsna, within yourself you considered Lord Brahma to be very insignificant, although externally you tried to please him. O Lord, who appears like a chammering cowherd boy holding a morsel of food in your hand, please protect me. Verse 149. O Lord Krsna, seeing that new boys and calves were created, Lord Brahma became embarrassed. Understanding the truth about you, he glorified you by offering prayers, and he washed your lotus feet with his tears of joy. 39th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 14, Verse 150. O Lord Krsna, O Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing as an ordinary cowherd boy, in the ocean of nectar which is the prayer of Lord Brahma, your glorious spiritual form was beyond the power of Lord Brahma to comprehend. Verse 151. O Lord Krsna, you cannot be touched by those who waste their time with the false theories of the impersonalists. You are easily conquered only by those engaged in your devotional service. Those fools who remain indifferent taught a supremely auspicious path of devotional service to you experience only distress for all their efforts. Verse 152. O Lord Krsna, many liberated souls have attained you by taking shelter of your devotional service. O Lord, you are very amazing and very difficult to understand, full of unlimited exalted transcendental qualities, and beyond the modes of material nature. Verse 153. O Lord Krsna, your merciful sidelong glance causes liberation from the bonds of material existence. Although you present a frightening aspect to the offender, when your son appeals to you, you become an indulgent. Verse 154. O Lord Krsna, millions of universes emanate from the pores of your transcendental body. O Father and Mother of the universe, just as mother tolerates the offenses of her children, you tolerate the offenses of the living entities. Verse 155. O Lord Krsna, you are the resting place of all living beings, and Lord Brahma is born from the lotus flower growing from your navel. Although you are the mother from whose womb the 5 material elements were born, by your glance you show the unreality and temporariness of this material world. Verse 156. Your own pastimes are not understandable by the non-devotees, and you are full of all power and opulence. You are the source of the spiritual reality and well as the illusory material existence, and you are the eternal supreme truth. Verse 157. O Lord Krsna, you may be seen by the embassy of the spiritual master, and it is forgetfulness of you which causes the entanglement in material existence. Simply by thinking you create the illusory states of material bondage and impersonal liberation. Verse 158. O Lord Krsna, if your devotee abandons all illusory material conceptions, you appear within his heart, and also externally before him. You bestow the mercy of your lotus feet to those who teach your glories to others. Verse 159. O Lord Krsna, you greatly benedict Lord Brahma, who appealed for the service of your servants, and who sang the glories of your devotional service with his four mouths. O Lord, please protect me. 40th obeisance. Verse 160. O Lord Krsna, you satisfied and delighted the cows and the gopis of Brajabhimi, who are the most fortunate of all fortunate living entities. O Lord, you are eternally full of great auspiciousness, and you are the friend of the residents of Braja. Verse 161. O Lord Krsna, you granted great happiness to Lord Brahma, who desired the association of the residents of Brajaptami. Lord Brahma desired to take birth as a blade of grass in Vraja, so that he would become touched by the dust of the lotus feet of the great devotees who were born there. Verse 162. O Lord Krsna, you grant yourself tati devotees situated in pure love for you, and you feel greatly indebted to the residents of Braja. Simply because of the external appearance of affection, you gave yourself to the demonis Pitana. Verse 163. O Lord Krsna, those who have given up this material world are able to attain you, and those who are attached to this world cannot. O Lord, you are embarrassed by your great debt to your friends in Vrindavana for their kind activities to you as you play the role of their Sunit. Verse 164. O Lord Krsna, even the humble devotees who consider that they are very foolish, and whose minds are pure, cannot understand with their minds or with words the great extent of your opulences. O Lord, to whom Lord Brahma offered respectful obeisances, one attains great bliss simply by constantly chanting your holy name. 41st obeisance. Verse 165. O Lord Krsna, affectionate to your devotee and pleased by his word, with a cheerful you gave your mercy to Lord Brahma. You delighted him with your smiling glance and gave him permission to depart. Verse 166. O Lord Krsna, you awakened the calves and cowherd boys from their slumber, placed them in Vrindavana as before, and brought the calves to the shore of the Yamuna. O Lord, who performs wonderful activities, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 167. O Lord Krsna, you laugh and smile, hearing the joking words of the charming and innocent cowherd boys. O festival for the houses of Braja, your appearance and your pastimes are very colorful and astonishing, and you delight the hearts of the gopis. Verse 168. O Lord Krsna, O best friend of all living entities, you are more dear to the devotees than their own selves. The nature of the ocean of pure love for you was determined and ascertained in the conversation of King Pariksit and Sukadeva Goswami. Verse 169. O Lord Krsna, you are expert at performing your astonishing pastimes in your own abode. You play the games of constructing a bridge and of jumping up and down like a frog. O Lord, please protect me. 42nd obeisance. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 15, Verse 170. O Lord Krsna, O auspiciousness of Vrindavana. As a young boy you wander in the forest of Vrindavana, accompanied by your elder brother, Lord Balarama. Verse 171. O Lord Krsna, you are greatly delighted by the forest Vrindavana, and you are expert in many different exchanges of love. Verse 172. O Lord Krsna, please protect me. You are as lustrous as a bumblebee, and your words eclipse the warblings of the cuckoos. You walk as gracefully as the swans, and your dancing is as beautiful as the dancing of the peacocks. Verse 173. O Lord Krsna, you delight in hearing the sound of the echo, and you are expert at climbing the branches of trees. You call the cows by their individual names, and you wear a sacred thread and carry a rope. Verse 174. O Lord Krsna, you become jubilant by the pastime of mock fighting with your friends, and you perform various services to remove the fatigue of your friend Balabhadra. You are expert at praising the cowherd boys, and you become free from weariness by staying under the shade of a tree. Verse 175. O Lord Krsna, you sometimes take rest on a bed fashioned from blossoming flowers, with the lap of a cowherd boy as your pillow. Another cowherd boy then massages your feet, and another fans you. Verse 176. O Lord Krsna, listening to the singing of the cowherd boys, you sleep very happily. Your pastimes in the village of Vrindavana eclipse the grandest opulence. The forest of Vrindavana is covered with the marks of your feet, which are worshipped by the gopis. 43rd obeisance. Verse 177. O Lord Krsna, O friend of Sridama, Subala, Stokakrishna, Versala, Versabha, O Jasvi, and Avaprastha, all glories to you. Verse 178. O Lord Krsna, O dear friend of Bhadrasena and Varuthapa, you performed pastimes in the Talavana forest, and your brother Lord Balarama killed the demon Dinika. Verse 179. O Lord Krsna, you killed the ass demons Howere associates of Dinikasura, and you broke the tall tala trees. When you heard the prayers of the cowherd boys, you became jubilant. Hearing and chanting your glories purifies the devotees. Verse 180. O beautiful-eyed Lord Krsna, you are the auspiciousness of the gopis. Your hair is tied with a sumana flower and a peacock feather, and it is covered with the dust upraised by the walking of the cows. Verse 181. O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. You appear very handsome, shyly smiling and casting secret sidelong glances, to the gopis. Your appearance enchants the gopis. You are very affectionate to them and you arouse their love for you. Verse 182. O Lord Krsna, after Mother Yasoda has bathed you, a garland of lotus flowers is placed on your head like a crown. A necklace of pearls decorates your splendid throat and your hands appear very beautiful, decorated with bracelets. All glories unto you. Verse 183. O Lord Krsna, you are decorated with tinkling bells and golden ornaments, a splendid garland and a sweet fragrance. You eat the food offered to you by Mother Yasoda. Verse 184. O Lord Krsna, as a little child you would charmingly and playfully smile and glance about with playful pride. You would happily go to bed, and Srimati Radharani would please you with her bantering conversation. 45th obeisance. Verse 185. O Lord Krsna, moving along the bank of the Imana river, you went to the shore of the Kaliya lake. With your nectarian glance, you restored the life of the cowherd boys and calves who had died because of Kaliya's poison. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 186. O Lord Krsna, the cowherd boys could guess that you had restored their lives and they became amazed. In order to protect your own devotees, you manifested your transcendental prowess, which had previously been concealed. O Lord, all glories unto you. 46th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 16, Verse 187. O Lord Krsna, you climbed a tall kadamba tree, and jumped into the lake where the serpent stayed. You sported in that lake, angering Kaliya, and you were soon surrounded by many angry snakes. Verse 188. O Lord Krsna, your friends in Gokula became drowned in bewilderment, and they were clearly observed to be crying tears, distressed by the catastrophe which had befallen you, the desired goal of the residents of Braja. Verse 189. O Lord Krsna, by following the footprints on the path, the people of Braja came to the Kaliya lake, and when they saw that you were in the serpent's grasp, they became almost dead with lamentation. Nanda Maharaja and the others desired to commit suicide, although Lord Balarama checked them. 47th obeisance. Verse 190. O Lord Krsna, you removed the grief the inhabitants of Braja were feeling on your account. You expertly played with the Kaliya serpent, making his hoods the arena for your dancing, and crushing those hoods as you danced. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 191. O Lord Krsna, accompanied by the songs and instrumental music of the Gandharvas, Siddhas and other demigods, you danced on Kaliya's hoods, your beautiful lotus feet reddened by the jewels decorating those hoods. Verse 192. O Lord Krsna, with the crushing steps of your lotus feet you forced Kaliya, the king of snakes, to bow down his head. His body broken and vomiting blood, that serpent, in that very wretched condition, began to understand your transcendental position. 40th obeisance verse 193 O Lord Krsna, desiring their husband's welfare, the wives of the serpent offered obeisances to you, falling down like a stick. They pleased you with their prayers. O Lord, because your character is very grave and profound, your anger became appeased, you are only satisfied by the pious service of your devotees. Verse 194 O Lord Krsna, because you are merciful to the guileless devotees, you satisfied the appeals of the serpent's wives. Prayed Toby the serpent's wives who had given up all personal considerations, y'all left the marks of your own lotus feet upon the serpent's head. Verse 195 O Lord Krsna, your opulence, power, and glory are inconceivable and you are the creator of the different natures of the living entities. O Lord, in the course of performing your pastimes, you are inclined to mercifully forgive the offenses of your own children. Verse 196 O Lord Krsna, when you gave the Kaliya serpent in charity to his wives, that serpent spoke to you, offering prayers. O Lord, all glories unto you. For you thus chastise those useless bewildered living entities, who have committed very horrible sins. Verse 197 O Lord Krsna, you marked the heads of Kaliya, the king of the snakes with your own lotus footprints, and thus removed his fear of Garuda. You instructed the snake to return to his previous home. Verse 198 O Lord Krsna, you became greatly pleased and satisfied by the Kaliya serpent. When the serpent departed from the lake in the Yamuna, the lake again became pure. 49th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 17, Verse 199 O Lord Krsna, understanding that Kaliya wa eating the offerings intended for himself, your carrier, Garuda, crushed the pride of that snake. Because of the words of Sabhari Muni, Garuda was not able to approach this lake in the Yamuna, and for this reason, Kaliya took shelter in that lake. O Lord, it was you who delivered that lake from destruction. Verse 200 O Lord Krsna, you are opulently decorated with splendid and transcendental garlands, garments, fragrances, ornaments and great jewels. The opportunity to see you is the life of the residents of Brajabhimi. Verse 201 O Lord Krsna, you have become jubilant, embraced by the cowherd boys and Lord Balarama, who is smiling and laughing. You swallowed the forest fire, and thus removed the distresses of your devotees. O Lord, please be merciful to me. 50th obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 18, Verse 202 O Lord Krsna, as the spring gradually changed to summer, you played with your cowherd friends. Your hair clustered like crow feathers, you played hide and seek and pretending to be thinking with them. Verse 203 O Lord Krsna, accompanied by your friends, you imitated the movements of the deer and other animals, played on a swing, and in a boat. In this way you played many extraordinary games in many different places. Verse 204 O Lord Krsna, performing pastimes, you appear as the ornament of Bandairavana forest. Understanding that Pralamdajra had arrived, disguised as a cowherd boy, you proposed that the cowherd boys play a game in pairs. Verse 205 O Lord Krsna, in the pastimes where one cowherd boy carried another, you carried Sridama. O Lord, you are very affectionate to Lord Balarama, who caused the terrible demon Pralamba to fall. O Lord, all glories unto you. 51st obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 19, Verse 206 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. When the cows became distressed and lost their way in the tall grasses of the Munjatavi forest, you removed their distress. When the cowherd boys became afraid of the blazing forest fire, you instructed them to close their eyes. Verse 207 O Lord Krsna, you swallowed the great forest fire in the tall grasses, and the cows and cowherd boys in Bandairavana forest considered that you were certainly the supreme monarch of all mystic powers. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. 52nd obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 20, Verse 208 O Lord Krsna, when the beauty of the monsoon season decorated the forest, you performed pastimes in the caves and under the large forest trees, eating their fruits and roots. Verse 209 O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Sitting on a stone and eating your lunch of rice and yogurt, you and your cowherd friends are delighted by the autumn rains. Nourishing the fresh grasses, those rains worship you with their manifestation of charming beauty. Verse 210 O Lord Krsna, please be merciful unto me. The beautiful luster of your form is like the clear autumn sky and your face is like the splendid autumn moon. You have become the supreme Cupid for the gopis. 53rd Obeisance, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 21, Verse 211 O Lord Krsna, decorated with autumn flowers, you appear very charming as you perform pastimes in the autumn. You appear like an actor or a dancer garlanded with Karnakara flowers. I worship you. Verse 212 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. The corners of your eyes dance in your lotus face, and you play very melodiously on the excellent flute placed on your lips, which are red as the bimba fruits. Verse 213 O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. You cast curved glances, from the corners of your eyes, and your form charmingly bends in 3 places. The universe is enchanted by the sound of your flute, and the gopis sing about your glories. 54th Obeisance Verse 214 O Lord Krsna, the sight of your beautiful lotus face is the perfection of the eyes. Splendidly decorated with many garlands, you appear very beautiful in the midst of the cowherd boys. Verse 215 O Lord Krsna, the pious flute continuously drinks the nectar of your lips, and Vrindavana has become glorious because it bears the markings of your beautiful lotus feet. Verse 216 O Lord Krsna, when you play the unprecedented music on your flute, all living entities become enchanted, the peacocks dance and the branches of the trees become filled with the birds, who pause to listen. Verse 217 O Lord Krsna, when the astonished deer heard the super excellent sound of your flute, they gave up eating grass and become allured. When the demi-goddesses heard that sound, they become enchanted. Verse 218 When the cows hear the sound of your flute, they cry very intently. Full of love, the calves listen with upturned ears and the birds become inactive and appear just like silent sages. Verse 219 O Lord Krsna, by hearing the sound of your flute, the Yamuna river became stunned and stopped flowing. The clouds came overhead and became like an umbrella to shade you from the scorching sunshine, and the Aborigine girls became immersed in pure love for you when they touched the kunkuma powder that had fallen on the grass from your lotus feet. Verse 220 O Lord Krsna, Govardhana hill is worshipped because it is enriched with the devotional activities of Lord Hari's servants. Abounding with pure love for you, the moving and non-moving living entities of Braja have become amazed and filled with spiritual bliss. Verse 221 O Lord Krsna, the non-moving plants of Braja sprouted forth blossoms as a symptom of their ecstatic love for you, and the trees bowed down to you, as if to offer respects. Appearing as a splendid cowherd boy, you increased the amorous desires of the gopis. Verse 222 O Lord Krsna, you reversed the natures of the moving and non-moving entities, bringing inanimate objects to life and making inanimate stones and wood moistened with love for you. O Lord, please protect us. Verse 223 O Lord Krsna, you were pleased by the vow kept by the daughters of the cowherd men, and when they were intent on playing in the water of the Yamuna, you stole away their garments. O Lord, O Master of all those who give benedictions, please be kind unto us. Verse 224 O Lord Krsna, you climbed the Kadamba tree and expertly spoke very amazing joking words to the gopis. Very eager to hear the gopis' prayers, you demanded that they beg for their garments. O Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 225 O Lord Krsna, clothed only with the waters of the Yamuna, the gopis were ardently in love with you. Afflicted by the cold waters, they emerged from the river, and you became pleased with their pure love for you. Verse 226 O Lord Krsna, smiling and speaking joking words, you placed the gopis' garments on your shoulders. You instructed them to offer obeisances to Varuna, and they did this, keeping one hand to cover themselves. Verse 227. O Lord Krsna, when you requested that they offer obeisances with both hands, the gopis complied. You returned their garments and granted all their desires. Verse 228. O Lord Krsna, O great thief of the gopis' hearts and minds, O lover of the gopis, who is enchanted by their love, please grant to me the service of your own gopi friends. Verse 229. O Lord Krsna, you became attracted by the pure devotional love of the wives of certain brahmanas who lived far away from Vrindavana. O Lord, you were pleased by those trees who in that birth as trees were so much engaged in welfare activities for the benefit of others. Accompanied by the cowherd boys, you drank the nectarian water of the Yamuna river to your full satisfaction. Verse 230. O Lord Krsna, you were pleased by those trees who in that birth as trees were so much engaged in welfare activities for the benefit of others. Accompanied by the cows and cowherd boys, you drank the nectarian water of the Yamuna river to your full satisfaction. Verse 231. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. In order to show mercy to the wives of certain brahmanas engaged in performing sacrifices, you greatly increased the hunger of the cowherd boys. Herein the intent complaints of the cowherd boys who were greatly afflicted by hunger, you advised that they beg foodstuffs from the brahmanas who were about to offer a sacrifice. Verse 232. O Lord Krsna, although the unintelligent brahmanas disrespected and ignored you, their wives, who were your devotees, became attracted by hearing about you, and desired to see you. O Lord, their minds and hearts became enchanted by you. Verse 233. O Lord Krsna, your amazing and colorful appearance, garments, and ornaments removed all the distress of the Brahmanas' wives. You glorified them and they expressed their desire to engage in your devotional service. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 234. O Lord Krsna, you were pleased by the plaintive appeals of the Brahmanas' wives, and you granted to them devotional service in pure love of God. You immediately removed any obstacles that their husbands might offer, upon their return. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 235. O Lord Krsna, although you became greatly pleased, by eating, the foodstuff offered by the wives of the Brahmanas engaged in performing sacrifices, you caused great distress to the Brahmanas who were their husbands. O Lord, because you are the worshipable deity of the Brahmanas, you granted transcendental knowledge to these Brahmanas, when they had all assembled together. Verse 236. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You asked your father why he was performing a sacrifice, although you knew full well the sacrifice was to be offered to Lord Indra. When you heard your father's description of the sacrifice's purpose, you replied by speaking the karma mimamsa philosophy, which states that if one works nicely, he will get the good result of his work, and there is no need of God. Verse 237. O Lord Krsna, by presenting many different false and illogical arguments, you prohibited the performs of the sacrifice to Indra, and urged the cowherd men to perform a sacrifice for the cows and Govardhana hill. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 238. O Lord Krsna, you described how the sacrifice for Govardhana hill and the cows should be performed, and when the sacrifice was performed, you assumed a separately constitute gigantic form, claiming to be Govardhana hill and eating the foodstuffs offered in the sacrifice. Verse 239. O Lord Krsna, O crest jewel on the summit of Govardhana hill, O glorifier of Govardhana hill, after the cowherd men had offered ornaments and foodstuffs, you caused them to circumambulate the hill. Verse 240. O Lord Krsna, when you angered Lord Indra in this way, he proudly inundated Vrindavana with devastating rainfall. You checked that rain by lifting Govardhana hill. O amazing powerful Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 241. O Lord Krsna, you playfully lifted Govardhana hill in order to protect the residents of Brajabhumi. Placed upon your hand, that unlimited mountain appeared as large as the entire earth. Verse 242. O greatly powerful Lord Krsna, for 7 days, you held up Govardhana hill, the king of the mountains, if it were an umbrella and your arm was its handle. In this way you broke the pride of Indra, who rides on the clouds. Verse 243. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Staying under Govardhana hill for 7 days, you dispelled the hunger and thirst of the residents of Braja with your merciful glance. You broke the determined will of Lord Indra, and forced the great rainfall to stop. Verse 244. O Lord Krsna, you placed Govardhana hill back in its own spot, and the gopis worshipped you by offering yogurt and rice to you. The demigods showered samana flowers, and Lord Indra became greatly afraid. Verse 245. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Seeing your great and amazing activities, the cowherd men of Braja wondered about your actual identity. They inquired about this from your father, Nanda Maharaja, and he replied by glorifying all your pastimes. Verse 246. O Lord Krsna, by recounting Gargamuni's transcendental description of your actual status, Nanda Maharaja dispelled the doubts of the cowherd men. O Lord, O increaser of the bliss of the cowherd men, O protector of the residents of Vrindavana, please protect me. Verse 247. Embarrassed and frightened, Lord Indra, the king of the demigods, offered prayers to you and touched his crown to your lotus feet. O Lord Krsna, O knower of everything, you removed his illusion and forgave his offenses. Verse 248. O Lord Krsna, protector of the principles of religion, O killer of the demons, you removed Lord Indra's wicked pride and forgave his offenses unto you, because you are very affectionate to those who take shelter of you. Verse 249. O Lord Krsna, after you instructed Indra you gave him permission to return to his heavenly post. A transcendental Surabhi cow glorified you, saying that you were the actual Indra, monarch. O Lord, who is known as Govinda, pleaser of the cows, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 250. O Lord Krsna, the Surabhi cow bathed you with its milk as the demigods worshipped you, and the elephant Airavata bathed Lord Indra with celestial Ganges water from its trunk. Verse 251. O Lord Krsna, you delighted the cows, cowherd men, and gopis, and granted auspiciousness to the residents of all the worlds. You filled King Indra joy and increased the bliss of the entire universe. Verse 252. O Lord Krsna, please be merciful unto me. Very affectionate to your father, Nanda Maharaja, you searched for him when he disappeared while immersed in the water of the Yamuna. You traveled to the abode of Varuna, Holho was greatly pleased to see you. Verse 253. O Lord Krsna, Varunadeva worshipped your lotus feet, and you became greatly pleased with him. You forgave his offenses and released Nanda Maharaja from his bonds. Verse 254. O Lord Krsna, although Nanda Maharaja heard Varunadeva glorify you, he did not consider your great opulence and power, but only thought of you as a little cowherd boy. The other cowherd men were full of doubts about you, and understanding their hearts, you became full of compassion for them. Verse 255. O Lord Krsna, you granted the goals of life to the cowherd men who were greatly delighted by attaining a glimpse of your own planet. Within the waters of Brahmakunda, you revealed the desired spiritual abode to the cowherd men. Verse 256. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. Delighting in the pastimes of the Rasa dance, you enchant the minds of those expert at relishing the devotional mellows, and you grant to them pure transcendental love for your lotus feet. O Lord Krsna, as you entered the Kaisara age, 10 until 15 years, your sweetness greatly increased and your pastimes became very glorious. Very submissive to the wishes of your dear devotees, you then kept the promise that you had formerly made to the gopis of Braja. Verse 257. O Lord Krsna, because your devotees appealed for the flood of your own pure love, you performed the Rasa dance, dismissing your own ability to enjoy unlimitedly without anyone else's hello, and considering your own scriptural injunctions as insignificant. Verse 258. O Lord Krsna, with the rising of the autumn moon in the evening, you became intent on enjoying pastimes of conjugal love. Expert at the art of attracting others, you enchanted the gopis with the music of your flute. Verse 259. O Lord Krsna, When the pious gopis heard the sound of your flute, they rejected all prohibitions, abandoned their duties and waiting cowherd husbands, and left to attain your association. Verse 260. O Lord Krsna, please be merciful unto me. When some of the gopis were forcibly prevented from going to you by their husbands, those gopis acutely burned in the great fire of pure love for you. Maddened with their great desire to attain you, those gopis became free from the bonds of material corporal existence. Verse 261. O Lord Krsna, when Sukadeva Goswami heard King Parikshit's question, the sage became angry and chastised his student, explaining that you are a great ocean of transcendental glorious qualities. Sukadeva explained that remembrance of you, even if performed with anger, grants great spiritual benefit. O Lord, please remember me. Note, the question King Parikshit asked was, the gopis did not know that Krsna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They accepted him as a beautiful boy, and considered him to be their paramour. So how was it possible for them to get freed from the material condition just by thinking of a paramour? Verse 262. O Lord Krsna, the gopis greatly relished seeing you with their eyes. O Lord, you are very expert at speaking eloquent words to cheat the gopis, and in this way you sweetly spoke them and tried to make them afraid of not performing their religious duties of being faithful to their husbands. Verse 263. O Lord Krsna, by speaking in this way, you caused to the gopis to suffer greatly and cry. The gopis earnestly desired the touch of your body, and when they plaintively appealed to you, you became greatly satisfied with them. Verse 264. O Lord Krsna, abandoning your pretense, your attitude of mind became completely altered. Your face decorated with a smile, you became infatuated with transcendental lust, to enjoy the gopis. O Lord, you are to be considered the greatest of all rascals. Please protect me. Verse 265. O Lord Krsna, you then manifested your actual sweet and charming nature, and your eyes restlessly moved here and there, impelled with conjugal desires. O monarch of hundreds of gopis, the glances from the corners of your eyes enchanted the gopis' minds. Verse 266. O Lord Krsna, staying at the shore of the Yamuna river, and decorated with a Vaijayanti garland, your face is as beautiful as the autumn moon. O transcendental enjoyer of the gopis, please protect me. Verse 267. O Lord Krsna, O defeater of Cupid, when you understood how the gopis were becoming falsely proud, you decided to curb their pride, and thus you playfully disappeared from their view, in order to show great mercy to them. Verse 268. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. The gopis searched for you, asking the trees, creepers, malati flowers, and tulasi plants if they had seen you. Verse 269. O Lord Krsna, the gopis asked the deer, if they had seen you, and they observed that the entire earth planet had become festive and jubilant because it had been graced with the touch of your lotus feet. The gopis saw that the earth was in ecstasy for this reason, and its trees and creepers were jubilantly standing upright, just as the hairs on the body of a person in ecstasy stand up. Verse 270. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Searching for you, the gopis became mad, and imagining that they had become you, imitated your pastimes. Verse 271. Verse 272. O Lord Krsna, O Master of Srimati Radharani, Radha intently worships you and cherishes you, considering you more dear to her than her own life breath. O enjoyer of Srimati Radharani, you become conquered by the exalted pure love of Radha. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 273. O Lord Krsna, the gopis observed a woman's footprints next to yours, and surmised that Srimati Radharani have given up everything to follow you. When your footprints suddenly stopped, the gopis surmised that you had disappeared to cause Radha to repent her own false pride. Verse 274. O Lord Krsna, when the gopis found Srimati Radharani, she described the amazing pastime that had happened. Radha and the other gopis then continually searched for you. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 275. O Lord Krsna, returning again to the bank of the Yamuna river, the gopis sang songs begging you to reappear again among them. They said that simply by taking birth in Vrajabhumi, you made Vraja transcendentally opulent and beautiful, as if the goddess of fortune were personally present. They lamented saying that you had greatly distressed them by making them search for you. Verse 276. O Lord Krsna, the gopis complained, O Lord, although you formerly saved the residents of Vrindavana from the poison of Kaliya, and although you are the super-soul who can perceive the distresses within everyone's heart, you are nevertheless committing the abominable deed of killing the women of Braja with the weapon of the absence of the sight of your lotus eyes. You are performing this sinful deed without any fear of future retribution within your heart. Verse 277. O Lord Krsna, you have taken birth here for the protection of this universe, and simply by the touch of your hand you grant fearlessness to the devotees. O Lord, whose lotus feet are full of various transcendental qualities, the gopis spoke in this way, begging you to return and touch them. Verse 278. O Lord Krsna, O enchanter of your servants, the gopis, enchanted by you, your servants, the gopis, spoke these delightful and sweet words. They spoke this nectarian description of you, which is very auspicious for this ears, more auspicious than all the Vedas, and greatly benedicts the distressed heart. Verse 279. O Lord Krsna, your sweetness greatly agitates the mind, and your gentle and charming lotus feet wander in the forest of Braja. You enchant the devotees, and they feel a moment's separation from you to be as long as a yuga. Your lips are full of nectar. Verse 280. O Lord Krsna, the gopis, who had renounced everything for you, begged you to return to their midst. In order to fulfill the request of your devotees, you manifested your greatly enchanting form in Vrajabhumi. Verse 281. O Lord Krsna, when you reappeared among the gopis, they expressed their fear that your delicate lotus feet may have become hurt by wandering over the surface of forest, full of thorns and sharp grasses. Fearing in this way, they felt that their life breath were being removed. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 282. O Lord Krsna, the gopis suffered greatly and their senses became maddened by their constant crying. They then again saw your smiling lotus face. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 283. O Lord Krsna, decorated with yellow silken dhoti, you appeared like Cupid in the form of a cowherd boy. Surrounded by the cowherd men's wives, whose eyes were blossomed open with great love, you returned to them their almost lost lives. Verse 284. O Lord Krsna, your feet touched the gopis' breasts and you became like a bumblebee hovering over the lotus flowers which are the gopis' eyes. You removed the sufferings of the cowherd men's wives, and fulfilled all their duties. Verse 285. O Lord Krsna, seated in the assembly of gopis, you shone with transcendental beauty and opulence. The gopis worshipped you as you sat on the edge of the cloth they had spread out for you. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 286. O Lord Krsna, O clever lion, understanding the intentions of the intelligent gopis, you expertly answered their three profound questions. Verse 287. O Lord Krsna, speaking to the gopis, you justified your ingratitude and other so-called faults, and you mercifully described the most exalted and extraordinary state of pure love for you. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 288. O Lord Krsna, you did not abandon the association of the gopis, and indeed, your mind remained unsatisfied, even though you had given yourself to them. You became very eager to benedict your dear friends whose love for you had greatly increased during their separation from you. Verse 289. O Lord Krsna, very affectionate to the gopis, you embraced them and expertly removed their sufferings born of separation from you. You became attracted to taste the mellow of the rasa dance pastime. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 290. O Lord Krsna, ornamented by the circle of gopis, you began the festive rasa dance. Staying next to each gopi, you began the festive rasa dance. Staying next to each gopi, you appeared like a sapphire accompanied by many golden lockets. Verse 291. O Lord Krsna, surrounded by the gopis, you manifested yourself by the side of each one, and when each gopi understood that you were standing next to her, she became greatly delighted. The demigods Birbi expertly sang and rendered other services to please you. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 292. O Lord Krsna, you gracefully danced and sang in the arena of the Rasa dance, and you became greatly pleased by the gopis singing. You gave betel nuts from your own mouth to the gopis, and when the gopis became fatigued, they touched your shoulders. Verse 293. O Lord Krsna, delighted by the gopis' singing, dancing, and other graceful activities, you stole away the sobriety of the moon and other stars, and you unnaturally lengthened the duration of the night. Verse 294. O Lord Krsna, your limbs became marked with the signs of conjugal love by the expert gopis. When the gopis of Braja became fatigued by the conjugal pastimes, you gave them relief by wiping their faces with your hand. Verse 295. O Lord Krsna, ornamented with a great multitude of garlands, you gracefully performed pastimes in the water with the smiling gopis, who laughed as they splashed you with water. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 296. O Lord Krsna, you performed pastimes, swimming about in the waters of the Yamuna river. Emerging from the water, you walked along the shore, very attached to performing conjugal pastimes in the groves there. Verse 297. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You are greatly attached to Srimati Radharani, and you engage in amorous pastimes with Kandravala Gopi. You continually drink the nectar from the lotus flower which is the face of Padma Gopi, and you have become very playful, inspired by the sidelong glances of Lalita Gopi. Verse 298. O Lord Krsna, you try to fulfill all the wished of Visakha Gopi and you appear very splendid, shining with the amorous love of Syamala Gopi. You are subservient to the nectarian and auspicious love which Bhadragopi bears for you, and you are the master of the great treasure which is the life of Dhanya Gopi. Verse 299. O Lord Krsna, you continually perform pastimes with the wives of those who have taken birth as cowherd men. You are the debauchee with the kunkuma powder from the gopis' breasts. Verse 300. O Lord Krsna, when King Pariksit asked Sukadeva Goswami why you engaged in the Rasa dance, the sage replied that you are full of unlimited transcendental potency and opulence, and that you manifest your eternal pastimes, which are full of transcendental knowledge and bliss, in order to liberate the saintly devotees aspiring for liberation and to benedict those who are already liberated. Verse 301. O Lord Krsna, you greatly glorified the gopis, and you were not at any time the reservoir of envy or ill feelings towards the cowherd men, considering them your rivals. You were the life breath of the cowherds' wives, who possessed homes and children by the grace of their husbands. O Lord, please be merciful by me. Verse 302. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Accompanied by the residents of Braja, you traveled to the holy forest of Ambikavana, and bathed in the waters of the Sarasvati river there. When a giant serpent began to swallow Nanda Maharaja, you touched that serpent with your lotus feet. Verse 303. O Lord Krsna, you rescued Nanda Maharaja from the serpent, and freed the king of the Vidyadharas from the curse. When you heard the account of the serpent's previous activities, you released him and permitted him to return to the heavenly planets. Verse 304. O Lord Krsna, on a pleasant night you performed pastimes accompanied by Lord Balarama, and surrounded by the gopis who were enthralled by your enchanting songs. Verse 305. O Lord Krsna, when they were frightened of the demon Sankakuta and called out to you for help, you immediately chased after the demon. Leaving the gopis under the protection of Lord Balarama, you followed the demon, and struck him on the head, killing him. Verse 306. O Lord Krsna, you took the jewel from the crown of the Sankakuta demon and presented it to your pleased brother Balarama. O killer of the enemy of the gopis, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 307. O Lord Krsna, during the day, the gopis became distressed feeling separation from you. In order to cross over the great ocean of their grief, they loudly chanted the glories of your transcendental qualities. Verse 308. O Lord Krsna, the gopis said that, your face is tilted and it appears as beautiful as a lotus flower. The blossoming flowers which are your feet are crossed. Your eyebrows and sidelong glances are dancing and you are expert at playing the flute. Verse 309. O Lord Krsna, the beauty of your form enchants the entire universe and increases the lusty desires of the wives of the Siddha demigods. You delight and amaze the cows in the forest of Brajabhumi. Verse 310. O Lord Krsna, when you pass by, the river Yamuna stops flowing, impelled by ecstatic love. Full of love for you, the creepers and other plants shower nectar, honey, and whatever they have as an offering to you. The swans and other birds walk by your side and the clouds serve you by becoming like an umbrella, to shade you from scorching sunshine. Verse 311. O Lord Krsna, the gopis said that, Lord Brahma and the other demigods cannot understand the complicated melodies you play on the flute. When you walk on the earth, the touch of your feet relieves the pain the earth feels when the cows traverse it. When the gopis see you they become filled with lusty desires, and become stunned, just as if they had become trees. Verse 312. O Lord Krsna, the gopis said that, as you walk home fatigued at the end of the day, you appear very handsome, and your great beauty enchants the minds of the wives of the deer. You bathe your graceful limbs in the waters of the Yamuna river, and the jubilant demigod Vayu worships you by blowing pleasant breezes. Verse 313. O Lord Krsna, the gopis said that, Lord Brahma and the other demigods offer obeisances to your lotus feet. With your cheerful lotus face and your restlessly moving eyes shining with jubilation, you increase the bliss of your friends. Verse 314. O Lord Krsna, decorated with many garlands of forest flowers, you move as gracefully as the king of the elephants. You delight the gopis describe how attractive you are, and you delight your mother. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 315. O Lord Krsna, when all the residents of Braja were frightened by Aristasura, you reassured them. You called out to that bull demon and waved your arms, angering him. Verse 316. O Lord Krsna, you tore out the bull demon's horns, killed him and thus removed the calamity which had afflicted Gokula. Verse 317. O Lord Krsna, Narada told Kamsa about your actual nature, and the sage gave him bad advice. Kamsa requested Akrura to bring you to him. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 318. O Lord Krsna, O dear friend of the generous Akrura, all glories unto you. Akrura became delighted when he heard the order of King Kamsa, who was agitated with hundreds of wicked state gems. Verse 319. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. When the demon Kesi, who has assumed the form of a terrible horse, frightened the residents of Gokula, you casually tossed him away, and then pushed your great hand within his gigantic mouth. Verse 320. O Lord Krsna, you casually struck the great demon, and causing him much pain, killed him. All glories unto you. O Lord Kesava, who was then worshipped by the demigods, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 321. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. The greatest devotee, Narada Muni, offered prayers to you, saying that your eternal transcendental form is unlimited, and that you are the controller of the demigods who control the conditioned souls. Verse 322. O Lord Krsna, Narada Muni explained that although you are the creator of the three modes of material nature which cause your illusory energy to manifest the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this material world, you are also the supreme truth after whom the saintly devotees aspire. The sage Narada then recounted how you manifested in this world upon the request of the pious demigods, and he predicted how you would kill King Kamsa and perform any other pastimes in the future. Verse 323. O Lord Krsna, Narada Muni completely described how you would expertly perform pastimes. Jubilant because he has attained the great festival of seeing you, the sage offered his respectful obeisances. Verse 324. O Lord Krsna, as you and your cowherd boyfriends were playing the game of police, and thieves who steal lambs. A demon named Vyomasura assumed the form of a cowherd boy, and stole many of your friends. Verse 325 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You grasped Vyomasura, the son of my Asura, threw him to the ground, and killed him. You rescued the cowherd boys who had been locked up by him in the mountain caves. Verse 326 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you, who are full of all eternal transcendental characteristics and opulences. As Akrura traveled to Vrindavana, he meditated upon the great multitude of your glories, and also upon your lotus eyes. Verse 327 O Lord Krsna, you increased the devotional bliss of Akrura, who was engaged in meditating upon your lotus feet. Akrura arrived in Vrindavan by chariot at the time for milking the cow. Verse 328 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Akrura, the son of Svafaka, became jubilant when he saw your footprints on the earth, and he began to roll about on the ground, taking the dust from your lotus feet. It was then that Akrura got the opportunity to see you. Verse 329 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. When Akrura, the son of Svafaka, saw you, his eyes became full of bliss, and he jumped down from his chariot to offer obeisances unto you. Verse 330 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You lovingly embraced Akrura, the son of Gandhini Devi, and you completely fulfilled all the desires within his mind, because you are very affectionate to the devotees who offer respect to you. Verse 331 O Lord Krsna, when Akrura described Kamsa's demoniac plans, you became greatly angry. You became distressed when you heard of the sufferings of Devaki, Vasudeva, and the others. Verse 332 O Lord Krsna, you asked Nanda Maharaja, the king of the cowherd men, to travel to Mathura. When the residents of Gokula heard that Krsna was about to travel to Mathura city, in the morning they became agitated with distress. Verse 333 O Lord Krsna, this news caused 100 fears and anxieties to flame up within Mother Yasoda's heart. This news caused all the gopis of Braja to fall into the ocean of suffering. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 334 O Lord Krsna, the gopis burned with distress, and they considered that the entire universe had become void and empty. They caused the waters of the Yamuna to swell with the flowing streams of their tears. Verse 335 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. As you stood on Akrura's chariot, you became greatly affected, hearing the laments of the gopis. Nanda Maharaja and the other cowherd men had climbed up on their carts also to travel to Mathura. Verse 336 O Lord Krsna, burning with the distress of the impending separation from the gopis, and unable to tolerate the separation of Srimati Radharani, you reassured the gopis with sweet and loving words. Verse 337 O Lord Krsna, the gopis appeared to be on the verge of death. Kissing and embracing them, you received them and stopped their great suffering and their crying, mixed with exclamations of alas, alas. Verse 338 O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. You expertly pacified the gopis by making various promises to them. You restored their lives and gave them hope by verse 339 O Lord Krsna, when Akrura signaled the horses to move, the gopis surrounded the chariot and blocked the path. You became greatly aggrieved by the loud crying of Mother Yasoda, and you silently stood there with Nanda Maharaja and the other cowherd men. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 340 O Lord Krsna, thousands of gopis cried bitterly, some fainted, some died, and one went insane at the prospect of separation from you. Verse 341 O Lord Krsna, the throats of hundreds of gopis were broken with great sounds of lamentation, and many gopis fell down in the lap of the road, to prevent the passing of the chariot. O Lord, please be merciful to me. Verse 342 O Lord Krsna, you glorified the gopis, whose lives remained intact, only be carefully binding them with the ropes of hope, for your return. Those gopis became greatly agitated with distress when they saw the path to Mathura. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 343 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. As Akrura, the son of Svafaka took his bath in the Yamuna, you remained on his chariot. When Akrura was immersed in the water, you showed a supremely amazing thing to him. Verse 344 O Lord Krsna, Akrura offered prayers to you, saying that you are beginningless and without an origin, and that indeed the lotus flower sprouted from your navel is the origin of the entire universe. He said that, your movements and activities are not understandable by the conditioned souls within the universe, and that you can be approached only by those engaged in your pure devotional service. Verse 345 O Lord Krsna, Akrura said that many different kinds of sacrifices and worshipping methods may be employed for the worship of your lotus feet, for you possess many different names and forms and there are thus many paths to reach you. Because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the demigods are all parts of you, the rivers of different worshipping procedures may flow into the ocean which is yourself. Verse 346 O Lord Krsna, Akrura said that your limbs are the shelter for the entire universe, and the myriad of universes are all contained within the cave of your abdomen. He said that with the glorious fame of your beautiful and opulent incarnations, you grant spiritual bliss to your devotees, and remove the distresses of material existence. Verse 347 O Lord Krsna, eager for liberation, and humbly begging for your mercy, Akrura offered these prayers to you. Bestowing on him a small fragment of your mercy, you gave to him devotional service in pure love of God, as well as the association of your saintly devotees. Verse 348 O Lord Krsna, although you cruelly neglected the gopis, Akrura offered these formal dry prayers to you. O ocean of amazing qualities, you asked your uncle Akrura why he had become amazed. Verse 349 O Lord Krsna, arriving at the gardens near the entrance to Mathura city, you were surrounded by Nanda Maharaja and your other friends and relatives, who had arrived there before you. Akrura, who had already caused so much suffering to the residents of Braja, then invited you to visit his house. Verse 350 O Lord Krsna, you were pleased to see the nicely decorated and wonderful city of Mathura. The sight of you enchanted the eyes and minds of all the women in that city. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 351 O Lord Krsna, that city was nicely decorated with yogurt and other auspicious substances meant for the worship of the Brahmanas. The women of the city glorified the gopis' piety with great delight. Verse 352 O Lord Krsna, the residents of Mathura became thus absorbed in seeing you. When you asked a washerman to give nice clothing to you, and he refused, speaking harsha and insulting words, you casually decapitated him, with your hand. Verse 353 O Lord Krsna, you then nicely dressed yourself in 2 nice garments selected from the washerman's collection. Lord Balarama and the cowherd boys also took what garments they wished and became jubilant. Verse 354 O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. When a devotee tailor brought to you exquisite, ornate, and colorful garments accompanied by ornaments, you donned those garments and appeared very beautiful and opulent. Very pleased, you gave a great spiritual benediction to that tailor. Verse 355 O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. When you arrived at the house of the florist named Sudama, he lovingly worshipped you, presented you with an exquisite garland, and glorified you with prayers of pure devotion. Verse 356 O Lord Krsna, nicely decorated with many different aromatic garlands, you granted to the florist a benediction beyond his most extravagant desires. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 357 O Lord Krsna, you smiled and jokingly asked the hunchbacked girl Kubja to give the sandalwood paste she was carrying. Because her mind was captivated by you, she nicely decorated you with that sandalwood ointment. Verse 358 O Lord Krsna, you became delighted when Kubja anointed all your limbs with sandalwood paste, and you took away her triple bent crookedness and made her into a beautiful straight girl. Verse 359 O Lord Krsna, attracted to you, Kubja, amorously, pulled at your garments, causing you to smile. You reassured her and granted her a great benediction. Verse 360 O Lord Krsna, the mercantile men worshipped you by offering betel nuts, aromatic scents and various presents, and all the amazed women gazed upon you. O Lord, all glories to you. Verse 361 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You inquired where Kamsa's wonderful bow was kept, and arriving at that place, you picked it up, playfully strung it, and broke it. Verse 362 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You inquired where Kamsa's wonderful bow was kept, and arriving at that place, you picked it up, playfully strung it, and broke it. Verse 363 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Although you were very eager to go to the arena full of raised platforms constructed by Kamsa, the elephant Kavali Uppada obstructed your path. Verse 364 O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. Although you were very eager to go to the arena full of raised platforms constructed by Kamsa, the elephant Kavali Uppada obstructed your path. Verse 365 O Lord Krsna, please protect me. As powerful as a lion, you briefly played with the elephant Kavali Uppada, who was goaded on by his angry driver, and killed him. Verse 366 O Lord Krsna, killing the Kavali Uppada elephant and his driver, you pulled out the large tusk of that royal elephant and wielded it as a great weapon. Verse 367 O Lord Krsna, entering the arena, you appeared to be decorated with all the splendid opulences of the heroes. You carried the great tusk on your shoulder, and you were sprinkled with drops of bud and rud from the elephant Kavali Uppada. Verse 368 O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. Your lotus face decorated with drops of perspiration, you appeared differently to the different people in the arena, according to the different relationships they bore with you. Verse 369 O Lord Krsna, you appeared as the greatest hero, as the most beautiful Cupid, the greatest friend, the great supreme controller, the most affectionate, the supreme time factor, and the supreme spiritual master. Verse 370 O Lord Krsna, you appeared as the supreme truth, greatly worthy to be served, and enchanting to the minds of all living entities. Impelled by transcendental love, the people on the dais sang about your great glories. Verse 371 O Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Kanura spoke to you, and you replied to him. You were more powerful than he and very expert at wrestling. Verse 372 O Lord Krsna, the naturally affectionate and gentle women of Mathura lamented, when they saw you fighting with Kanura. The women criticized the entire assembly, for tolerating the unfair match of the tender young Krsna, with the powerful Kanura, and everyone became very embarrassed. Verse 373 O Lord Krsna, you became pleased when the women of Mathura sang this glorification of the gopis of Braja. Understanding the sufferings of your father and mother, you quickly killed Kanura. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 374 O Lord Krsna, when you killed Sala and Tosala and Lord Balarama killed Mustaka and Kyotaka, all the other wrestlers fled from the arena. Verse 375 O Lord Krsna, you became very angry, hearing the demoniac words of Kamsa from the high dais. When Kamsa moved his sword and shield, to kill you, you violently grasped his hair. Verse 376 O Lord Krsna, you threw Kamsa, king of the Bhojas, to the ground, and jumped up on his back. O enemy of Kamsa, O killer of Kamsa, all glories unto you. Verse 377 O Lord Krsna, you killed Kamsa who was like a sharp thorn causing pain to the entire world, and in this way you removed the fears and sufferings of the earth. To satisfy your father and mother and reassure them that the demon was actually dead, you dragged the dead body of Kamsa. Verse 378 O Lord Krsna, when you killed Kamsa, who was formerly known as Kalanimadadhya, you caused Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods to rejoice. Lord Balarama then killed Kamsa's 8 demoniac brothers. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 379. O Lord Krsna, you consoled Kamsa's widows and performed the funeral rites for King Kamsa. Offering respects by bowing at the feet of your parents, you released them from their shackles. Verse 380. O Lord Krsna, understanding that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, your father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, embraced you. You knew how greatly they loved you, and in order to increase that love, you delighted them by speaking very sweetly. Verse 381. O Lord Krsna, your father and mother became overjoyed when you embraced them. Speaking affectionate words, they bathed your head with flowing stream of tears, as you sat up upon their laps. Verse 382. O Lord Krsna, all glories unto you. You delighted the fortunate Vasudeva and Devaki and removed all their distress. You covered their knowledge of your position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so they could experience the transcendental happiness of intimate love for you. Verse 383. O Lord Krsna, delighting the fortunate Krsna with you transcendental words, and instructing him, you gave to him the post of monarch and all the opulence of the kingdom. Verse 384. O Lord Krsna, because you bear the name Bhaktavatsala, affectionate to the devotees, please be merciful to me. Although you possess all the jewels and opulence in the three worlds, you nevertheless became the submissive subject of King Krsna. Verse 385. O Lord Krsna, when your friends and relatives in the Yadu dynasty, who had fled their homes from fear of Kamsa, were brought before you, they respectfully worshipped you, and you returned them to their former residences. Verse 386. O Lord Krsna, with your continually smiling merciful glance, you delighted all the members of the Yadu dynasty. The nectar of the sight of you removes the influence of old age and disease, which diminish the powers of the living entities. O Lord, all glories unto you. Verse 387. O Lord Krsna, O best of the Satvata dynasty, O king of the Yadu dynasty, please be merciful to me. O Lord, O best of the Vrsnas, O monarch of the Dasarha dynasty, and descendant of the Madhu dynasty, please protect me. Verse 388. O Lord Krsna, as the monarch of the Kakara and Andhaka dynasties, you caused the earth to flourish. You are the sun which nourishes the lotus flowers of King Yayati's family with its rays, and you are the moon which has arisen in the ocean, which is the dynasty descended from the moon god. Verse 389. O Lord Krsna, O king of the city and province of Mathura, O auspiciousness of Mathura, where the great charm and sweetness of your transcendental form is manifested, all glories unto you. Verse 390. O Lord Krsna, O eternal resident of Mathura, O giver of sweetness to the residents of Mathura, O good fortune of Mathura, O monarch of Mathura, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 391. O Lord Krsna, please be merciful to me. Falsely promising to soon return to Vrajabhumi, you protected Braja's king, Nanda Maharaja, from great distress. At the time of your separation from him, you very affectionately embraced him and spoke very sweetly to him. Verse 392. O Lord Krsna, Nanda Maharaja became completely impoverished in the skill of speaking many clever words, and his separation from you caused his crying to greatly increase. The cowherd men earnestly embraced you and cried many tears of grief. Verse 393. O Lord Krsna, elderly Nanda Maharaja became almost dead with grief, and he continually fainted and fell to the ground. You became full of pain to see this, and you tried to console him, and gave him many gifts of valuable garments, ornaments, household utensils, and other things. Verse 394. O Lord Krsna, in this way you pained the hearts of the cowherd men, who began to loudly cry out, alas, alas. By sprinkling water, you revived the life breath of Nanda Maharaja. O Lord, please be merciful to me. Verse 395. O Lord Krsna, trusting as complete truth your promise to return, although Nanda Maharaja completely trusted as true your promise to quickly return home, the sufferings of Yasoda Devi greatly increased as she heard your words. O Lord, please protect me. Verse 396. O Lord Krsna, constantly inundated by Nanda Maharaja's tears, you maintain the lives of the miserable residents of Brajabhumi, by tricking them into believing that you would soon follow Nanda Maharaja as he went there. Verse 397. O Lord Krsna, for the gopis' benefit you decorated yourself with promises to return to Vraja. O Lord, whose eyes then became filled with a flowing stream of tears, please be merciful to me. Verse 398. O Lord Jagannatha, O Lord of the universe, O crest jewel of the city of Jagannatha Puri, O Supreme Person whose form is spiritual although it appears to be made of wood, and whose complexion is like that of a dark rain cloud, O Lord, please be merciful to me. Verse 399. O Lord Jagannatha, your lotus eyes have blossomed wide open and you appear to be nectar washed up on the shore of the saltwater ocean. O monarch who enjoys multifarious royal pleasures and whose waist is decorated with pearls, O Lord, please protect me. Verse 400. O Lord Jagannatha, you were pleased by the worship of King Indradyumna and you grant to the devotees the prasada, foodstuffs offered to you, which appears to be nectar coming from your own lips. O younger brother of Lord Balarama, who earnestly takes care of your sister Subhadradevi, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 401. O Lord Jagannatha, with the Rathayatra journey to Gundaka and other festivals, you increase the happinesses of the devotees. O decoration of the Rathayatra chariot, O Lord who is very kind and affectionate to your devotees, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 402. O Lord Jagannatha, your mind is moistened with kindness to the poor, miserable, abandoned, and destitute greatly fallen souls. O Lord, the sight of whom and the glorification of whose qualities is ever fresh, O Lord who is very dear to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Prayer to Lord Caitanya, from Krsna Lila Stava by Sanatana Goswami, verse 403. O beautiful, fair-complexioned Lord Caitanya, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. O Lord, O delight of Sasidevi, O crest jewel of the Sannyas, please protect me. Verse 404. O Lord Caitanya, O decoration of Nilakala Jagannatha Puri, O Lord whose face is smiling and whose arms reach down to your knees, O preacher of the glories of the nectarian holy name of the Lord throughout the universe. Verse 405. O Lord Caitanya, you praise Advaita Acharya and you delight Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You are affectionate to Ramanandaraya and you are the friend of all the Vaisnavas. Verse 406. O Lord Caitanya, O great ocean of the nectar of pure love for the lotus feet of Lord Krsna, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Do you sometimes remember me, the most wretched of all wretched people? 105th Obeisance Srimurti Pankaka Stava, prayers to five forms of Lord Krsna, verse 407. O Lord Krsna, you manifest yourself in the form of the Brahmanas, in the form of your own devotees, in the form of the banyan tree, and in the form of the cows. O Lord, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 408. O Lord Krsna, O youthful son of Nanda Maharaja, O Lord who has assumed the form of many different holy places of pilgrimage, you always assume these five forms to continually protect the living entities in this world. 106th Obeisance Srimadarkastava, prayer to the deity form of Lord Krsna, verse 409. O Lord Krsna, appearing in the forms of stone, metal, clay, wood, sand drawings, jewels, and pictures, you temporarily or permanently appear in your deity incarnation. Verse 410. O Lord Krsna, who also appears as the Salagrama Sila, wherever or in whatever form you manifest yourself, the devotees worship you with great devotion. Verse 411. Glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Verse 412 and 413. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar-churned form, the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaisnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krsna who has returned, among us. Verse 414. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you one attains transcendental bliss, for your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krsna. Verse 415 O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 416 O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krsna. 108th Obeisance Dainyarti Vijanapanam, a distressed appeal. Verse 417 O Lord Krsna, although I am a cheat, a liar, very lowly and fallen, badly behaved and always engaged in sinful activities, you are nevertheless very merciful to me. Therefore, let me offer my respectful obeisances to the great glory of your mercy. Verse 418 O Lord Krsna, because of your mercy, I have attained a state somewhat like the condition of the saintly devotees, and I have left my former place to reside in the auspicious and splendid district of Mathura Mandala. Verse 419 O Lord Krsna, within you all transcendental knowledge resides, and no sinful impurity may stand. Although one may attain the four kinds of liberation, he may not find himself near to you. Verse 420 O Lord Krsna, endowed with your own transcendental glory and the great treasure of your sweetness and charm, you eternally reside in that place known as Mathura. Verse 421 O Lord Krsna, because of your mercy, I was able in the city of Jagannatha Puri, to attain the association of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the most dear person to you and whose association is very difficult to attain. Verse 422 O Lord Krsna, by your mercy, I became eager to view your beautiful face as you rode on your Rathayatra chariot, and by that mercy I am able to reside in Vrindavanadama, the place where you performed so many pastimes. Verse 423 O Lord Krsna, the gopis describe your transcendental glories, and you yourself describe their transcendental qualities. The fortunate devotees who, staying at a respectful distance, hear these descriptions, attain pure love for you. Verse 424 O Lord Krsna, just as before even today you appear and eternally perform pastimes, within the hearts of those moving and unmoving living entities who are inundated with the flood of pure love for you. Verse 425 O Lord Krsna, in this place of Vrindavana, you have enabled me to attain the association of your most dear servants, headed by Rupa Goswami and Raghunatha Goswami. That association is my only treasure and my very life. O Lord, I eternally offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Verse 426 O Lord Krsna, at the present moment your holy name are flowing from my mouth. O Lord, perhaps at some time you will enable me to remember your lotus feet within my heart. Verse 427 O Lord Krsna, may this abominable and base body of mine always bow down to offer respects unto you. O Lord, may you protect me from all calamities and grant me the great treasure of your pure devotional service. Verse 428 O Lord Krsna, you are able to grant to me eternal pure love for you and constant remembrance and glorification of you. O Lord, you are able to cause me to attain your own affectionate sidelong glance. Verse 429 O Lord Krsna, although I am very base and sreeched, you are the shelter of all my hopes. O Lord, who is greatly attached to the cows, cowherd men, and boys and gopis of Braja, you are certainly able to reveal yourself to me. Verse 430 O Lord Krsna, your great glory is your great mercy. Although you are the old's person, your transcendental, eternal, blissful and all-cognizant form is eternally youthful. O Lord, I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Phalasruddha, result of hearing this prayer, verse 431 and 432 O Lord Krsna, these prayers are named the Krsna Lilastava, and they have been written following the description formerly given, in the Srimad Bhagavatam. These prayers contain 108 obeisances to you, and they cause the reader to become liberated. O Lord, may those devotees who glorify you by reciting these prayers, quickly attain transcendental attraction to your form, name, and pastimes, by your mercy.